afternoon, everyone. I am Michael B. Jordan, and today I will be interviewing William Lyon Mackenzie King.
Thank you for inviting me here today.
It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. Let's start by telling the people more about yourself.
My name is William Lyon Mackenzie King. I was born on December 17, 1874 in Berlin, now Kitchener, Ontario. I am a Canadian political leader from the 1920s to the 1940s. I served 2 terms as the Canadian Prime Minister, a part of the Liberal Party. I am best known for my military aid and leadership during the Second World War.
What were you doing prior to the Great Depression?
Depression started, I supported Canada's independence from Britain, and I planned the development of the nation's capital, which is Ottawa. However, though many progressive and liberals supported me, many disagreed with my ideas. When the Great Depression came, my administration believed that it would pass by itself, which led to me losing the following election to conservative Richard Bedford. He implemented progressive income taxation, a minimum wage, a maximum working hours per week, unemployment insurance, health insurance, an expanded pension program, and grants to farmers. I remained a liberal and won the 1935 elections, defeating R.B. Bennett. I also repaired the North American trade with the 1935 Reciprocal Trade Agreement.
What were you doing prior to the Great Depression?
In 1900, I joined the Canadian Civil Service as Deputy Minister of Labour. In 1908, I entered the politics and won the riding of Waterloo North for the Liberals. The Prime Minister at the time, Sir Wilfrid Laurier, appointed me to be the first full-time Minister of Labour. In the pre-war years, I achieved considerable prominence in Canada as a labour conciliator and was chiefly responsible for drafting and presenting to Parliament the Industrial Responsible Putes Investigation Act and the Combines Investigation Act. These measures revealed that I tenaciously held faith that exposure to the facts of any situations to public scrutiny would create a public opinion strong enough to ensure the resolution of social problems.
When were you the Prime Minister of Canada, and why were those years important?
I was the Prime Minister of Canada during 1921 to 1926, 1926 to 1930, and most importantly, 1935 to 1948, which were the time that some of Canada's most important history happened. Those were the times of the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, and World War II.
During World War II, how did you unite Canada to the United States and Britain?
I united Canada to the U.S. and Britain by establishing ties with the United States under President Franklin Roosevelt and often met with the Britain's Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, along with President Roosevelt, which brought the U.S. closer to the European allies.
Why was that important?
Our relationship with one another meant that there is great power within our nations that can help each other out in times of difficulties. With each other's unity and brilliance, we can maintain a strong bond within our economy.
How did you solve the conscription problem during World War II?
I didn't want the same thing that happened to the First World War, where the country split because not everyone liked the idea of conscription. Therefore, I first held a volunteer conscription where most of the jobs were at the home front. After that, I did a vote on whether people wanted conscription or not. 80% of the French people voted no. To please the French people, I had most of them work on the home front while the English were working overseas.
What are your thoughts about the battles that Canada participated in?
Canada fought in many battles during the span of the warfare. It started off with the Battle of the Atlantic, which lasted 6 years' time and caused thousands of casualties. It is truthfully devastating. We lost many noble Canadian soldiers, Navy men, and air fighters. This battle carried on the whole span of the German colonization and greed for power up until Hitler's death in 1945 when he committed suicide. It was an unfortunate event that was embarked when the German U-boats attacked cargo ships crossing the Atlantic, which led to 4 cases of Canadian death. These deaths caused me to declare war against Germany alongside with the Allies. As a payback, as you kids say these days, the Royal Canadian Air Force did an astonishing job in regard to sinking U-boats, killing hundreds of German crewsmen. In regards to the other battles like the Dieppe Raid, D-Day, and a couple more that Canadians fought in, it makes me truly proud to say that I am Canadian.
Rumor has it that you have great affection towards Adolf Hitler. What are your thoughts regarding his death?
Adolf Hitler was a great leader. When I met him in June 1937, I was completely smitten by him. He was handsome, wise, and a deliverer of his people from tyranny. His death and actions made me disappointed with what he said when I met him, that he had no desire for war. His true intentions as a leader was not a man who truly loved his fellow men.